I'm going to cut to the chase. If you want to heal yourself spiritually, emotionally, if you want to heal your body, this is something that will aid you as well. You need to acknowledge what you've been through. We have a culture that kind of just says, what's done is done, get on, whatever has happened to you will make you stronger. And I'm not saying those are wrong things, but the tendency people have is to downplay and ignore what they've been through. And what happens is when you do that, you take that baggage with you for the rest of your life. Now, tell me this. Do you ever have triggered moments in your life where you overreact to something that's happened in the vicinity? For example, I would have something where I'd be criticised over something small by my partner, and all of a sudden I'm in a PTSD-like state. I'm uptight. I feel like I'm going to explode. Logically, it makes no sense, but internally, I'm drowning. Now, I've wanted to explore that. Where does that come from? And my whole life I've ignored it. Whenever that moment's hit me and I'm triggered, I ignore it because I don't know why the hell I'm having it. And what I found out is that those are emotional flashbacks. A really good book is CTPSD on this topic. It's fascinating. I was having emotional flashbacks my entire life. And I always questioned myself. I thought emotional childhood trauma is something where someone's beaten up or had severe sexual abuse or any sexual abuse. But, I couldn't see clearly what would cause me to be so damaged. And that is the truth, is when you look at my journey, at where I was when I was 20 years old, I was severely damaged. I was suicidal. I was on death's door, I looked like I had cancer. I suffered every day. I felt like I was in hell. And if you were to look on the outside, it didn't match. So, I never understood why I was in such a pit. Why did I become a hermit? Why did I do all these things? And I've never acknowledged myself. So, if you're somebody that's struggling, if you have flashbacks, emotional flashbacks, not visual flashbacks, but you have triggered moments, you get massive feelings inside that overtake you when you're triggered in life, this is something you need to explore. And chances are you've not fully acknowledged what's happened to you. You've downplayed it. You just get on with it because you don't know what else you can do. Now, a little exercise for you to start to maybe provoke those feelings in you, to clear them. And this is what worked for me, is I'd take myself, my little boy, say 5 years old, I pictured myself as a little boy, and I picked him up out of his nice house and the toys he had, and I placed him in a not so nice house. All of a sudden I'm starting to feel feelings. I'm starting to feel empathy for that child. I'm starting to understand why he would be damaged. Whereas before, whenever I had these episodes or I wasn't succeeding or, whatever it is, where I'm punishing myself, now I start to make sense of my life journey. Or it would make sense why I was a hermit, or all the health issues I've been through. All these things start to make sense because I've shifted the environment that kind of disguised my trauma. And from that moment, I started to say, actually I was psychologically abused by a narcissist repeatedly over a decade or longer. I was groomed. And these were all kind of silent things I wasn't really aware of, As a child, obviously, you have to survive. And you will lie to yourself to get through it. But if we don't address it, We carry that baggage for the rest of our life, and I'm not prepared to do that at this point. So I've took my little boy, out into that situation, and things start to unravel. Things start to make sense. I start to feel feelings come up inside me. If you go a step further, let's say you have a family friend and they have a child. Next time you see that child, picture them going through what you've been through. And tell them the excuses that you tell yourself. Now that one was a big one for me. I just kind of, oh my God, I feel it now. Like, I would want to protect that child. I would want to acknowledge that child. But when it was for myself, I was blind to it. And the profound changes I've had inside, the more that I listen to that inner child and acknowledge what I've been through, has been profound. Now, I'm not going to say, I'm perfect or, my healing journey stopped here. But it's been fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And when I started to work on myself over the last 6 months, after the things I've been through, I felt like I'd struck gold. I thought, maybe it's just me, let me try on other people. So I've tried on a couple of people, and it's unbelievable how people lie to themselves, how people downplay whatever they've been through. They ignore what they've been through. They, just get on with it. They don't want to feel those feelings, and all of them suffer. They suffer these episodes throughout their life where they feel worthless, they feel guilty, they feel all these negative emotions, and when that feeling rises in them, they shut it down by any means possible. They have addictions or whatever it is, they shut it down because they don't know why it's there. They're looking in their immediate surroundings and they're going, this doesn't make sense why I'm feeling this way, which makes it much more scary when you don't understand it. Oh my God, I want to get rid of this feeling. Let's go and do something. Let's get busy. Do something to distract me. Let's play a game. Whatever it is, they do anything to escape it. Now, I've sat and talked with these people, let's say for an hour or two, and I start to unravel what's going on internally. And I create analogies like the ones I described before to try and provoke feelings in them. And one of my friends cried. They started crying. They don't, they're not used to crying, let's say. And it's because we took their situation, what they've been through a child, the downplaying they've done, and swapped it with another child. What do you tell that child? Do you downplay it like you would for yourself? And if you do, that is an issue that needs to be addressed internally, because you need to have empathy for yourself. You need to have that acknowledgement of what you've been through so you can move on from it. And what people tend to do is they go to therapists and they talk about their traumas. They go over it again and again and again and again, and they never get anywhere. But when it really comes down to it, are they fully acknowledging what they've been through and accepting those feelings when they come back? So, I don't want to take too much of your time. Next time, if you're somebody that suffers with CPTSD and you have an emotional flashbacks, you get these overwhelming feelings that overcome you for no apparent reason that doesn't logically make sense, I want you to sit with yourself in that moment and understand that this isn't a flashback from the past. Now, when it happens to me now, instead of being scared, instead of running, instead of trying to hide from it, I sit with myself and I go, it's no fucking wonder that I'm having these awful feelings inside of me because of what I've been through. It makes sense. I understand. I've come from hell. I have been subject to narcissistic, gaslighting, emotional, psychological fucking abuse for a decade or more. It makes sense. So just knowing that that's where it's coming from lets me acknowledge it, lets me sit with it. It's not pleasant, but I want to remove this from my backpack in my life And I start to have compassion for myself instead of going, I need to be doing more in my life. I need to be more successful in my life. I need to be working out more in my life. I need to no. Instead, I actually go, I need to respect myself and actually acknowledge that my start in life of being psychologically shattered has ramifications, and I'm doing my best to overcome them. And that acknowledgement, the peace I feel inside from finally acknowledging myself after 35 years, it's something I've searched for a long time. If I go back a decade when I first healed myself, I created an artificial environment where I wasn't triggered. I looked after myself physically, and I developed such a discipline to being productive that it artificially kept me okay. But I don't want to have a whole rigmarole regime to be okay. And this is my healing journey now. I just want to say this as well, is that I've been putting so much effort into this course. I want to give the most. I want it to be something somebody can go to and heal themselves. And I'm just really excited to share it. I've gone through such a roller coaster emotionally writing this course of ecstatic, excited, happy for the future, all these things, and then doubt, am I good enough? All this, I'm just keep on going through all these waves and understanding life's never going to be linear. But thanks for watching if you watched for this long. And I'm really happy that I've got to this point. And if I can turn these situations around again and just help people, it's been worth it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you're all doing okay.